On January 6, 2021, the Senate riots happened and it shook America to its core. Today I'm going to cover why the US Senate riots happened. Welcome back to the Screen Cinema. Let's get into the video. Number 7. Curfew. As Congress met to certify, the decision comes about President Trump, who held a synchronous rally. Chairman Muriel E. Bowser of Washington on Wednesday night issued an arrangement amplifying the city's open crisis for 15 days, cautioning that radicals who back President Trump might proceed to wreak destruction within the nation's capital. The arrangement enables authorities to decrease the hours of operation for businesses, arrange individuals off the road on the off chance that a check-in time is issued, and use reserves as required to ensure open safety.
USA! 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 USA!
Number 6. Termination of time. The mandate, which can terminate at 3 p.m. on January 21st, amplifies the crisis through the introduction of President-elect Joseph R. Biden Jr. on January 20th. It came hours after Ms. Bowser forced a citywide time limit from 6 p.m. on Wednesday until 6 a.m. on Thursday. Number 5. Fewer security precautions for the Senate chamber. As the agitators entered the Capitol by breaking through entryways and windows, Capitol security cleared the Senate and House of Agents chambers. A few buildings within the Capitol complex were emptied and all were bolted down. Agitators broke past inside security to involve the purged Senate chamber, whereas government law requirement officers drew handguns to protect the emptied House floor. The workplaces of numerous individuals of Congress, counting Pelosi, were plundered and vandalized. Extemporized and stable gadgets were found on the Capitol grounds, as well as the workplaces of the Equitable National Committee, the Republican National Committee, and an adjacent vehicle. 5 individuals, counting a Capitol Police officer, passed on from the occasions, whereas a handful more were injured. Number 4. Called action by Trump. Trump supporters accumulated in Washington, D.C. on January 5th and 6th in back of his wrong claim that the 2020 decision had been stolen from him, and to request that Vice President Mike Pence and Congress should dismiss Biden's triumph. On January 6th, Spare America Walk was on the Oval with Trump, Donald Trump Jr., Rudy Giuliani, and a few individuals of Congress who were affected by the swarm of Trump supporters. Trump told them to battle like hell to require back our nation, and on the other hand, showcased himself by saying his supporters to empower them and guided them to gently walk over to the Capitol. Giuliani called for trial by combat, and Trump Jr. undermined the president's rivals by saying, "We're coming for you," and has called for add up to war. Within the weeks driving up to the riots, after walking to the Capitol building and overpowering, he immediately kept an eye on police blockade so that numerous dissidents got a chance to be savage. They attacked the Capitol police officers, and correspondents raised a hangman's tree on the Capitol grounds, chanted "Hang Mike Pence," and endeavored to find legislators to require prisoner and hurt counting House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Pence. The last mentioned for denying to wrongfully upset Trump's discretionary loss.
This election were overturned.
Number 3. Failed insurrection. The occasions were broadly condemned by political pioneers and organizations within the United States and universally. Talking in Congress instantly after their return to the floor, Senate larger part pioneer Mitch McConnell called the raging of the Capitol a fizzled insurrection and certified that Trump's claims of decision extortion were untrue. Pelosi and Senate minority pioneer Chuck Schumer called for Trump to be expelled from office, the 25th alteration by arrangement. Facebook bolted Trump's accounts and expelled posts related to the occurrence. Twitter at first bolted his account for 12 hours sometime recently, forever suspending it.
Surrounding the building, it was clear that the crowd was intent on causing harm to our officers.
Number 2. Funding and donations. Ladies for America begin with the 501c4 organization chaired by Amy Kremer, which was the Spare America Walk financed by America. To begin with, arrangements pro-Trump dole cash gatherers chaired by Linda McMahon. The previous chairman of the Little Trade organization, trick scholar Alex Jones, said his media company paid $500,000 to book for the Oval for the pro-Trump rally quickly before going to the riots, and claimed that the Trump White House inquired him to lead the walk to the Capitol. Charlie Kirk, the author of Turning Point USA, said on Twitter that Turning Point had sent over 80 buses to the U.S. Capitol. Other individuals endeavored to raise reserves in December by any means of GoFundMe to assist and pay for transportation of the rally, with a restricted victory. An examination by BuzzFeed News recognized more than a dozen pledge drives to pay for travel to the arranged rally. GoFundMe has since deactivated a few of the campaigns after the revolt, but a few campaigns had, as of now, raised a portion of their other fundraising goals prior to the deactivation. Number 1. Save America March. Dissidents encompassed the Washington landmark to rally on the morning of January 6. Trump, his legal counselor and counsel Rudy Giuliani, and others such as Chapman College School of Law teacher John C. Eastman gave discourses on the Oval. Giuliani tended to the swarm, releasing the scheme hypothesis that voting machines utilized within the decision were slanted and were calling for trial by combat. Agent Moment Brooks told The Swarm, "Nowadays is the day American loyalists begin taking down names and kicking ass." Agent Madison Cawthorn said, "This Swarm has a few battles." Trump gave a discourse from behind a glass boundary announcing he would never capitulate to the race, criticizing the media and calling for Pence to upset the decision that comes about, something outside Pence's predicted power, which boosted Trump supporters to launch riots. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.